Thanks for coming to J&N Travels podcast with your hosts, John and Nancy.
Hi.
We will discuss everything travel, including cruising, Disney World, other general travel, snowbirding tips, trivia, and other fun things.
Thanks for joining us. Each podcast contains 2 segments with travel information. We also have Nancy's Trivia, travel fun facts, and snowbird tips. We have been getting some questions emailed to us and will answer one question on each podcast. If interested in sending us a question or making up a comment, email us at j&ntravels@yahoo.com. Please check out our J&N Travels Facebook page, J&N Travels merchandise store, our J&N Travels YouTube channel, and visit our podcasts on YouTube, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and Apple. Our information for everything is listed below. We like to start off each podcast with Nancy's Trivia. Nancy, that's me, will give you the trivia questions now, and she will give you the answers towards the end of our podcast.
Nancy, as we move up to episode 19 of our podcast, you've dug out 3 trivia questions, random trivia questions.
I did.
And would you like to share them with us? You'll be giving the answers to these questions at the end of our video.
So this is a good one. Number 1, who has more outfits in their closet, Mickey or Minnie Mouse?
Who has more outfits in their closet, Mickey or Minnie Mouse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have a guess on that, but I don't know that for a fact. Okay, what's number 2?
Number 2, what is the largest island in the world?
What is the largest island in the world?
And number 3, what day of the week is it considered unlucky to sail out of port on?
What day of the week is it considered unlucky to sail out of port on? I know there's always a lot of sea superstitions.
Yeah.
I never knew the ones for cruise ship, though.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting hearing all these answers. Yeah. Okay, we'll get the answer at the end of the show. Thank you, Nancy. We are going to continue our discussion on our recent Venezia cruise out of New York. This will be segment 1 and part 3 of our discussion. We covered our drive down, our cruise package deals, embarkation, debarkation, the ship design services, and food. So if you're interested in any of those part of this discussion, look at our live from 2 weeks ago, part 1. And this one will be dealing with some other issues. So you may want to listen to this if you're going on this ship in particular, or going out in New York, right?
It was a beautiful ship. Man, this is beautiful.
It was a beautiful ship. So we're counting down the days, Nance. It's in the 30s outside. We've been freezing. And we've got less than a month now before we head down to Florida.
It's been nice and sunny, but cold. Sunny but cold. Yeah.
And I swear our blood's getting thin if I'm spending too much time in the sun. So this was on our Halloween cruise.
Yeah.
We get back a few weeks ago, and we are given different highlights according to category, right? So the first one I have on my list, which it's a weird one for me to have on the top of my list, but I think it's where we separated last time, is the violence and security. Carnival's gotten a bad rap for things going on in the ship.
Yeah.
From what I've seen and what I've read and what I've heard, half of it's their fault, half of it's not their fault. So, you can take either side if you want. This particular ship, there was no shortage. When we went on the Horizon last year, I thought there was a shortage of security, and there was just a lot of places, hotbed areas that something could have happened, especially at the pizza line. Remember that?
I know. Oh, my gosh. Yes, that long line.
But on this particular ship, there was security everywhere.
Yeah.
You started off by being 45 minutes late onto the ship because they had the drug sniffing dog.
Yes.
And then we got on the ship, and there was just security everywhere. There shouldn't have been any issues. Now, I saw a couple areas where stuff could have happened, and it was all to do with the lines. I just think Carnival, if they sit around the table and decide how they're going to organize their lines better, they would have so many.
There were a lot of lines, especially in the deli sandwich area. I couldn't get.
Well, it's the way they work them too.
Yeah.
They just throw you out there so people don't know when they're in the line. That's
I know,
problem.
because somebody asked, like, it was really weird. Like, people were ordering on the left and people were ordering on the right, and it's like, where is the line?
Right. And we even got the guy got a little mad at me when we were there for dinner. There was we walked up to give the woman with the iPad for the dinner reservation.
Yeah.
Some guy comes up and says, we've been waiting here a long time, and it's like,
oh yes.
And
yes,
it's like, well, I have no way of knowing that.
I know.
They are very bad with signs, and that was one of the biggest issues I found on this. So even with security, there are a couple hotbed issues. We heard about 4 incidents. that happened on the ship that we did not see from the people we went with or just from people we met on the ship. So there was still stuff going on. And like I said, if you look at the root of it, a lot of it could be eliminated with just better planning. So that was anything else you want to say on the violence and security on it? You noticed a lot of security, right? Around the ship on this one?
I noticed some. I wouldn't say a lot, but you probably noticed more than me.
Well, I was looking for it too.
Yeah, so I really wasn't looking, so.
Right. Okay, the next category we have is the islands. Okay, now the 5 islands that this ship stopped at, what they did is there were 3 sea days at the beginning, 3 sea days at the end, and in the middle there were 5 back-to-back islands.
That was the first time we had 5 back-to-back islands, yeah.
So the first one was St. Thomas.
Yeah, that's pretty.
We enjoyed that.
Yeah,
we liked that a lot. Seemed like a nice, clean, safe island.
We've been there before. The last time we went there, we took a catamaran ride. So this time it was nice because we actually walked around downtown.
We walked the main street a little bit, popped into a couple of grocery stores, stuff like that. And then we swung out along the water.
Yeah, that was pretty there.
And there was a little mall type of thing there on the resort. But it was a beautiful walk.
Yeah, it was. It was really nice.
We had the privilege of bumping in and meeting a woman who was in charge of major construction on the island. We walked with her a while and talked with her. And it was interesting because she did not consider it a great island.
I know.
And we thought it was one of the better ones that we had gone on. But if you're looking for something to do and you don't want to pay for an excursion or go on an excursion, there's plenty when you're just walking off the ship.
Yeah.
The other thing that was within walking distance that we have still not done is those gondolas.
Yeah, we haven't done those. We almost did them this time, but I kind of chickened out.
Well, it takes it to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, I don't like heights, so.
So that was St. Thomas. We liked St. Thomas. Second island, which was not one of my favorites, probably the worst one on the list, I thought was Dominica.
Yeah.
And we'll verify exactly what you see all over the internet. It's a beautiful island. If you go on the other side, it's some major driving on the other side. The couple we went with did an excursion. They did a lot of driving up some steep mountains and saw some beautiful views, but it was kind of a nerve-wracking ride, that type of thing. We tried just walking around the port area, and it is not much there. There are stores there. I was under the impression there was absolutely nothing there. But there are a bunch of stores there, but it's not the greatest area. And we walked a little, and then we basically just went back and spent the day on the ship.
Yeah, we enjoyed the ship. It was fun.
And those are always good to have a day like that.
Yeah.
Where you can,
enjoy the slides without crowds.
Right, exactly.
The slides were great.
The third island, which is one of our favorites, was Barbados.
Oh, yeah. Barbados is gorgeous.
Now, this is our third time in Barbados?
Yeah.
Okay, so we basically did the same thing all 3 times. We found out before our first time there, it's less than a mile walk. You can walk to the area where there's beach after beach after beach. And the beaches are beautiful. There are also, they're not called day resorts, but you can pay a fee. The first year we had paid a fee of, it was $25 then. I think it was $35 this year.
Oh, yes.
And it's quite the deal. They give you a welcome drink, use of their bathrooms, use of their chairs.
Yes.
The biggest thing, go ahead.
Oh, and the snorkeling.
Right.
Yeah.
The biggest thing was the snorkel. You want to talk about that snorkeling the first year we did it a little bit?
That was incredible. I mean, we saw such beautiful, colorful fish, and it was a good amount of time they allowed us to stay out there. Do you remember how long we were out there?
We were out a while, and like you said,
it was a long time.
Wouldn't you say that was probably our best snorkel experience?
That was our best snorkel, other than Bermuda. Yeah.
No, I thought it was better than Bermuda.
You did?
Because they brought us over the 2 sunken ships.
Well, that's
and
true.
You just
they did
saw
do
so
that.
much.
Yeah, it was really nice. We were very pleased with that, how that worked out. And that was only for $25.
Back then, right? Even at 30, I mean, you go on the snorkel excursion, you pay $100.
Yeah.
Next time I go there, I would look into that, maybe doing that club.
Is that called the boathouse?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're looking into it, do a search on the boathouse.
Yeah.
And I definitely will look into it again. What we did is we walked down. Last time we went, we walked down, swam, and our son rented the jet skis.
Yeah, so that was nice.
It's jet skis all around the.
He really enjoyed that.
All along the beach there. Hey, welcome in, Sam. Thanks for
Sam.
coming in.
Can I say Sam? I am.
So what was it? Oh yeah. So the last time was our son did the
jet
ski, and we did the beach, which was really nice.
Is that Carlisle Beach? Is that the name of it?
Oh, I don't know. There was like beach after. They were all lined up. Remember, one after the other.
But it's nice. I mean, if you could pay the $35 and get the snorkel. Oh, they had fun things too. They had like a slide, a blow up slide, and a bouncy thing.
Right, and if you were at the boat house, you could use those.
Yeah, you got a ticket. I mean, a bracelet. You can they know you paid.
And you could trampoline use them. In the slide.
Yeah.
So this time we just walked down.
Yeah, we just
swam.
Walked down,
we went with another couple, and it was very nice.
The water's beautiful. The beach is beautiful.
The walk both ways is really nice. The walk down there is nice. It's all along the water, mostly along the water.
Yeah, it's very pretty. Yeah.
And the walk back. So I recommend that if you're looking.
Would you say it was a 15-minute walk? Or maybe 20 tops?
Yeah, maybe 20-minute walk. It's very safe.
Yeah, it's safe. Yeah.
And if you're into you're going through a town, we have not explored yet, but if you want to poke your head in shops and stores,
it's
there's probably something there to look at.
It's the capital, Bridgetown, right?
Yeah. So Barbados is one of our favorites. Like I said, we've done the same thing 3 times. And basically, we're in an island. We want to swim, so that certainly solves that. There are excursions and stuff you can do in other parts of the island if you want to do something different. The 4th island is St. Lucia. St. Lucia.
St. Lucia.
Lucia, okay. And that's our 2nd or 3rd time there.
3rd. The first time we didn't do anything because everything was closed. It was Sunday. So we didn't do anything. We stayed on the ship.
Didn't we walk down the beach the first time?
That was with our son. That was the 2nd time.
No, the first time we walked down too, though.
No, we didn't. The first time it was raining. It was a Sunday. It was raining. We walked a little bit, and then it started to rain. Some guy tried to sell you pot, and you turned around and went back to the ship. That was the first time. The 2nd time we walked to Viggy Beach with our son.
The 2nd time with our son, we walked all around the downtown area and then down to the beach. And the last time we walked down. Well, this is unusual because Carnival Park's in a different spot. The first 2 were they NCL, both of them? Yeah, I think they're both NCL.
Yeah, they're both NCL.
So this spot would have been a better location to walk to the beach. It was a little closer than the first time.
Yeah.
But we walked into town. We just walked around town, right?
We just walked around town, and then we came back to port, and we got some beer and listened to a great musician. It was very relaxing. Yeah, we're very pretty there because we hadn't been to that side of the port before. With NCL, we had gone to that side.
Well, one of the good things with a lot of these ports, even if there's not a lot to do, is most of them have a bar sitting right next to the port.
And the beers are cheap.
And cheaper. Depending on what port you're at.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something we enjoy doing, and we would probably do that more often in the future.
And then we did see the cathedral, the Immaculate Conception Cathedral, which is beautiful. So we've seen that twice now.
Okay, so where were we at here? Okay, so
I was just saying how we saw the Immaculate Conception Cathedral twice. That's beautiful. That's worth visiting.
Well, if you know Nancy, she loves churches and libraries.
I do.
And if we go to an island, we try and pop into both of them.
But so I mean, it would be nice to see more of St. Lucia, but those excursions are quite long.
That's the problem. We're at the point now where we don't want more than a 2 or even 3 hour excursion. A lot of these islands, they're longer because you have to basically climb over the mountains to go to the other side of the island. Yeah, you have to go to
the other side of the
island.
Where
all the stuff is. And it's just not laid out for a long day if you're not into that. So, but a lot of people are into that, and then they would probably enjoy doing some of these. The 4th island is St. Martin. There's another island
that was nice. Now I love that because we could walk to the beach there. That was beautiful.
That was the one we did when we went to St. Martin many years ago. They have a water shuttle, so you can take a boat from the ship across the bay and dock. That's what our friends did.
Yeah, it's like $7 round trip, right?
I think you're right. Yeah. We decided to explore. You can walk around the outside of the bay, and we had never done that, so we wanted to see what was there.
Yeah, it had been a long time since we've been to this island, so we decided to walk.
And we'll probably do it that way again because it was a nice walk,
beautiful walk. Yeah,
and you get to see at least some of the island by doing that,
and take some nice pictures along the way. Yeah,
and then you get right out. There's a shortcut. You go right out onto the beach.
Yeah,
another beautiful beach. Yeah,
and they have all kinds of restaurants right along the beach. I mean, they had Bloody Marys for $6. I was tempted, but I hadn't eaten anything. I didn't want to feel sick from it.
They had, and I don't know if they always have this or if it was off season, but they had quite a few really good deals where for $25, you got 2 chairs, an umbrella.
Yeah.
But you also got a bucket of beer.
Yeah.
So or a drink, or you could bucket of beer, or I think you each got 1 or 2 big drinks. So, that's quite
a good deal.
Yeah.
That's a good deal. Yeah.
Again, if we had known that, we would have gone down earlier and planned differently. Next time, we'll probably plan accordingly and go down and grab a chair and
sit we went down early and we just swam. Like I said, we left the ship. We hadn't eaten anything. So we went early and stayed a few hours and then went back for lunch. Right. At the ship. Yeah.
So if you plan accordingly, I guess that's a fun way to do the day.
It is a fun way to do it. Yeah, the drinks are inexpensive. Yeah, I was.
So how would you rate as far as St. Thomas, Dominica, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Martin? How would you do those in order of your favorites? If you had recommended people what your favorites were of those islands, what's your number 1 island?
Well, I really like St. Martin because I really like that beach, and I think it would be nice to get an umbrella and a chair and maybe stay longer.
And what's number 2 on your list?
I guess Barbados.
Barbados, okay. Number 3?
St. Thomas is always beautiful. We didn't do a whole lot in St. Thomas, but
And then between St. Lucia or Dominica?
I like St. Lucia.
And Dominica last for you?
Yeah.
Mine's almost the same, except I put Barbados first. Barbados, St. Martin, St. Thomas, St. Lucia, Dominica. But the first 3, St. Martin, St. Thomas, and Barbados, very safe islands, we felt.
Yeah.
And a lot to do just on foot. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, you don't see a whole lot. I mean, you have to see, go on an excursion to see some of the island, and we did not do that. But it's pretty walking around and just experiencing the culture. And,
Right. It's time now, Nancy, for your fun facts. And Nancy,
it is time.
Nancy felt that since we're right in the middle of winter now, and that maybe snow.
Yeah.
I think you dug up 6 facts on snow, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first one, number 1, there must be pollen or dust in the air to form snow. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Yeah. Not sure what the logic on that is.
Number 2, all snowflakes have 6 sides or arms.
We see that in pictures, but I didn't realize that was a...
Yeah. Number 3, no 2 snowflakes are exactly alike.
Which we always grew up with that fact.
Number 4, snow can fall with temperatures above freezing.
Yeah, I learned this about 10, 20 years ago. I thought it had to be freezing, but I guess if the upper atmosphere is a certain temperature, then it can snow.
Number 5, it can never be too cold to snow.
Yeah, there's an old wives' tale that said it was too cold to couldn't snow. Okay, so that's not true.
Number 6, snow isn't white. I knew this one. Snow might appear white as it falls from the clouds or accumulates on the ground, but it's actually translucent.
Okay, so that's interesting. I always thought it was white too, but even from the sky, it says when it's on the ground, but when from the sky, it looks white also.
It does. I know. It's actually translucent.
Okay, those are very interesting fun facts, and stay warm, everyone.
Follow John and Nancy from J&N Travels as they snowbird in Florida for the winter months.
We love to spend the day resort hopping at the Disney World resorts, and one of our favorites is the Wilderness Lodge. The Wilderness Lodge represents America's Great Northwest. We enjoy exploring the massive lobby with the 2 55-foot-high totem poles and the magnificent 82-foot-tall fireplace, which is a recreation of the strata of the Grand Canyon. We enjoy the food in both the Whispering Canyon, which is a themed all-you-can-eat restaurant, and the Roaring Forks, a quick-service restaurant. After you are done with the inside of the resort, you can walk around the beautiful grounds outside. You may even be lucky enough to catch a 120-foot geyser that erupts hourly. This is the last segment, segment 2 of our recent Venezia cruise. So next on our list is entertainment. Okay, this is ship entertainment. This is musicians, the shows, the comedy, and the game shows. Okay, you want to talk about that first?
Yeah, I like the singing and dancing, but they don't have any Broadway shows, which I really enjoyed on previous cruises like Norwegian. I really enjoyed Six and the Jersey Boys, but I'm always up for singing and dancing, and they were good.
So we both agree the shows are entertaining, but
Yeah,
they're not really.
They're not Broadway
right.
shows.
They're not top notch.
I mean,
it's
we've
just
seen
singing and dancing. Basically.
Yeah, we've seen Cats. We've seen, like I said, Jersey Boys and Six. I really like Six, and there were some other shows I can't remember, but then Beatlemania. I like that a lot. I mean, it was called Britain's
So we felt the shows are basically kind of the same almost.
Yeah,
you
they're
really
the
couldn't.
same.
They weren't very distinctive one from another. What about the musicians on
Well,
the
the
show?
violinists are beautiful. Yeah, I liked all the musicians. They were very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of one musician. Usually, if you pick one out, you say not that good.
Okay.
But
the
duet, there were two duets in the atrium. They were excellent.
They were excellent. Yeah.
Like you said, the violinists were fantastic.
I love them. Absolutely love them. All of them. Yeah.
I mean, the DJ, he was okay. I did like a lot of the selections he did, but I thought he could have been more entertaining. But he's not. I don't consider him a musician.
And it was kind of cool though that they did an ice sculpture too. They had some games too, and they did an ice sculpture. I like that. And they had the Italian night. I mean, that was fun. Right.
Yeah. Then that's a story we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Actually, we can even talk about that now. What they had was supposed to be an Italian festival.
Yeah, Italian festival.
And they had it all decked out up on the Lido deck.
Right.
Really nice chairs out.
Pretty.
We got our seats. This has a retractable roof, which I think is one of the greatest things for a Northeast cruise, especially in the winter months, is a retractable roof. But for some odd reason, they didn't know when to shut it, when to open it. We were in there for a Halloween party.
We were roasting.
And people were just absolutely roasting, and they kept the roof shut. And we were in there for the festival, and it was raining.
Yeah, we weren't in costume for Halloween. I felt bad for those people who had heavy costumes on. They must have felt like they were going to pass out. Yeah, it was so hot.
So that was too hot for that, and then they left it open for the festival.
Yeah.
And since a lot of the stuff like the violinists were used electricity, they had all the entertainment moved downstairs.
Yeah.
And then they sent everyone back upstairs for the festival part where the food was brought out.
Yeah, that was too bad. I would have liked to have heard the violinist, but we ended up staying at the Lido.
Well, if you look at a lot of our pictures, of that night, we have a table covered with snacks. And I think part of the reason is people that went down for the entertainment didn't feel like coming back up.
They didn't. So we were just getting served.
So we were just sitting there playing cards, right?
Yeah, we played cards and got served all these amazing, wonderful snacks. I have to admit. They were very good.
So going back to the entertainment, the shows, the comedy, I thought the comedy was very good on the ship.
Yeah, it was good.
We saw 3 shows, and all of them were good.
Yep.
The game shows, great job with Family Feud.
Yeah.
It looked just like the TV show.
It did, yeah.
And the one that's your favorite, the
Deal or No
Deal, that's always a favorite with us.
Yeah, I like that.
Those are the 2 big game shows. And of course, they had a lot of different game, like the trivia. The ship was very good. There was almost trivia going on every half hour.
Yeah, there's always
every
trivia.
Day.
Yeah.
So if you had nothing to do, you go in and at least sit and do a half hour trivia or something. Lots of different entertainment. Now they did not go off the norm. Like there were no ventriloquists or jugglers. Was it a juggler they had planned and the guy didn't make the ship?
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
And that was the only different. Makes me wonder if maybe they just they left without him.
I don't know. Yeah.
But so the entertainment we enjoyed.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
It's not your top-notch entertainment. No. It's not your Broadway show. But it is very entertaining.
Yeah, it's entertaining. I do miss my Broadway shows. I look forward to that because we don't go to Broadway shows. It's nice to go on a cruise and see the Jersey Boys. And I remember one lady I was sitting next to, she said this was just as good as she saw in New York. So it was really, really very nice.
Yeah, it's something nice about you go for sit-down dinner in the restaurant, and then you leave and you go down to a kind of a Broadway-ish, we'll call it Broadway-ish type of show, right?
Yeah.
Like you said,
they had stuff even like Beatlemania, which is
I'd
say somewhere between a Broadway show.
Yeah,
and
I love
Beatlemania.
Beatlemania. There's just so many.
This was non.
No, this was on
this
Norwegian,
show.
right?
Other shows.
It was called Britain's Best. Their entertaining is a little, well, it's Broadway shows and a little step above, I would say. Yeah.
All right. Now the next category or area is organized activities. Did you feel there was a lot of organized activities?
Yeah, we had fun with that. Yeah.
There were plenty of them. I listed, bingo, trivia, games, pool games, dance classes. They had several dance classes. They had yoga, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They had pool games, which we didn't see a ton of them, but when we did, they were entertaining.
Yeah.
Frogs racing.
Yeah.
And the other one was putting ping pong balls in your bathing suit.
Yeah, that was funny.
So those were fun.
Yeah.
To watch. They were different. And then down below, of course, you had your trivia, and we had the I told you about the dance classes, the karaoke. So there's plenty to do.
Oh yeah.
There's never a dull moment. Let's put it that way. Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Hi, Paul.
A lot of people driving today.
Yeah, and then they had pickleball too.
Well, no, I'm not on that yet.
Okay.
So those are organized activities. I'm trying to think of any. They had cooking class. They had bartending class. There were different stuff like that if you want to sign up for it. The next thing is sports. This blew me away. Okay. I'm in the sports and I don't usually get involved in stuff because there's always huge lines and not enough, ping pong tables or not enough foosball, whatever the heck, or they don't have foosball. This is one thing I think Carnival excels on. They have a deck upstairs which has miniature golf.
Yep.
And what do you call it? Rope course.
The rope course, yeah.
Rope course, that. And they had the cornhole.
Oh, cornhole.
So they had all those up on the top floor, which was great.
And
we loved all
too.
those. No, that was on the top floor.
I see. Yeah, that's right. That was a different floor.
In a section.
Yeah.
Then there's a section that has a netted area, which had basketball courts. But what they would do for 2 hours every day is have pickleball.
Yeah.
Which we did. It's something about playing pickleball on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
And it was organized. It wasn't like you get up there and there's just 100 people trying to fight for the paddles. It was very well organized. They had a tournament play first for an hour, and then they went to open play. And both were organized, and both were a lot of fun. And you could do, there was soccer. There's so many different things inside the netted area. And on top of that, right where the atrium is, now when the roof is closed, this is all indoors.
Yeah.
But right above the atrium, there's like a loft area there. And there were 2 foosball tables, which you never usually find. That was a lot of fun. There's an overgrown Chinese checkers, which we played. And the best thing, which I thought we would never play because it would be a long line, and we played it quite a bit, was bocce.
Yeah, that was fun. I liked that a lot. I didn't know they had 2 foosball. I thought there was just a ping pong and a foosball.
There were 2 ping pong and 2 foosball.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I forgot about the ping pong, right.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome.
And we tried everything.
Yeah, we did.
It was fun.
We did try everything. Yeah, that's true. We did.
And those were indoors. So even when you had rainy weather or at nighttime, you were indoors. You could play foosball or ping pong.
Yeah, it was fun.
Or bocce or any of those type of things. So plenty of stuff if you want to do stuff.
Yeah.
On the ship as far as sports type of stuff. If you want to stay active. And of course, there's a full gym, that whole deal. There's a track around the ship.
Yeah, we didn't walk the track at all, but we walked a lot around the ship. But usually we try to do the track, but we were just so busy walking all around the ship.
Yeah, what else was there? Anything else recreation-wise? It probably covers the sports type stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we move on to the water. Okay, the pools.
Oh, I loved them.
We both agree, right, that this is probably the best. The Lido pool was probably the best one that we've ever had on a cruise ship.
I agree. Yeah, it was.
Not the main pool, but the outdoor pool at the front of the ship, which was smaller than the one on the Lido deck, was always crowded.
It was, yeah.
The one inside, we went into whenever we wanted to. It was never packed.
No, it was really nice. And it's so pretty. They had the fountain. You felt like you were in, Europe, with the...
Right. It definitely had, it was supposed to look at that, what's the square?
St. Marco Square.
Yeah, St. Marco Square. It was all themed that way. It did overhangs and like the big screen was in there.
Yeah.
So football games, you'd have people on the different levels. That was a lot of fun. And The biggest thing with that pool is that's where the roof is retractable.
Mhm.
So in New York, it was 80 degrees and they had the roof open. But when the ship left, they had the roof closed. And I've never sailed from New York and New Jersey where we've been able in October, November to be able to swim.
Yeah.
But you could swim because this is now an indoor pool.
Yeah, it was nice.
So you didn't waste the 3 days going from New York. You didn't waste the 3 days coming back to New York. So
that was great. That was a definite plus.
Yes. Yeah. So that was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
The cabin.
I thought it was good size.
Biggest surprise of the cruise for me was a cabin. We had gotten a deal, and what I have done on every cruise, and it's worked on every one except for one, is you get a room, you get it at the cheaper rate, you find whatever deal you can, and then they usually send you a bid. And people getting bids all around me. And I was just waiting my turn to get a bid. But this is the one time we didn't get offered a bid. So we thought we were going to be down helping them row the boat. And but we loved the room.
Oh, yeah. And they had a nice mural of Venice in the back.
Yeah, well, all the rooms had that.
Yeah, but so pretty.
But the cabin it looked as big as any other room that we had seen. So the size was fine.
I loved it.
The refrigerator was different than any refrigerator I've ever had on a carnival ship. It was actually a refrigerator. It kept stuff cold.
Yes.
We had some sodas in there and it kept them cold. Yep. It wasn't just calling it the refrigerator. It's really a cooling box. No, it was a refrigerator.
It was a refrigerator. Yeah.
And then the best part was we were only 2 decks below our main dining room.
Yeah, that was convenient. That was really convenient.
And the other thing, which is an enormous advantage, you wouldn't realize until you did it, is you've probably heard people talk about the layout of the ship. The one thing, I'm guessing that maybe the architects were a little bit drunk when they designed it because you could not get from a lot of the decks from one side to the other.
Yeah.
You had to go down or up.
Yeah.
Well, we called it the subway. And we basically had a straight line from our cabin to the end of the ship. So what we would do is if something was on the end of the ship, we wouldn't go up and have to navigate all that. We would just go straight down the hallway to the end and then go up to the floor that we needed to.
Yeah.
It worked out fantastic.
It did. It worked out great.
Being on the bottom floor, there was never a line for the elevator.
No.
Because everyone else is waiting from the floors above you. So we were the first ones on the elevator. Yeah. So there were no waits from that. So
what floor we were on?
What's the first floor, I think.
But
I don't. But it's not the bottom one on the. It's the first one for cabins.
Oh, that's right.
Then there's a couple for deck below for the deck and the engine, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was nice.
So that was the cabin. So that was truly enjoyed. So I recommend you check those out if you had a great deal like we did, and maybe consider doing it. Common areas, Nance. Okay, the theater, the atrium, the clubs, the Lido deck. Overall, what did you think of those?
Well, the theater's beautiful. It's, of course, it's not set up for visibility, wherever you sit, You have to find a seat that a pole, or I should say a column, is not in the way.
Yeah, I forgot about the theater, but that was one of our biggest
because they had the columns that were in the way. You're like, okay, I got to find a seat where this
Never find a good seat. It was either, and when there wasn't a column, you thought you had the perfect spot. There was a thick wooden railing that went right for.
So a lot of times we just stood in the back so we could get a better seat.
Well, we started learning.
A better view.
To get a view and also the video. Yeah. You could just stand in the aisleways, right?
Yeah.
The atrium was beautiful.
Oh, beautiful. Yes. Beautiful.
I think it was typical
carnival style.
Atrium, but it was very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It reminded me of the Horizon, right?
And they had the little the little balcony there where all the performers would perform.
It was very pretty. It was like I said, it reminded me of the Horizon. I thought the atrium and the Horizon was gorgeous.
The clubs, the clubs were all nice. Yeah. Those were all good. The comedy clubs had good venue, good view, and they were big.
The comedy clubs had a good visibility. Yeah.
Me and my friend stood in line outside the comedy club once, just for the sake of it. We were walking by, and the line went all the way through the casino.
Oh, geez!
And I couldn't believe, and she swore that she was going to fit everyone in. So we waited to see if she did, and that line went in. And they fit everyone into that comedy club.
Wow.
So that's another thing I tell you. If you don't want to wait in lines, go to the club just before the show. A lot of these shows, you'll still get in.
Yeah.
You're not going to get your perfect seat, but you're going to get in. That's the club. So the Lido deck. That was our favorite.
Yes, of course.
It was built after, it was supposed to look like an Italian square
San Marco.
The San Marco, they had columns to look like it was, marble,
and
it
was really pretty.
Balconies, and
the whole ship was beautiful.
But that area we really loved because the bottom floor which had the Guy's Burger and entrance to the buffet, and then you had the pool and you had the big screen. Then you go to the next level and you had the bocce and stuff like that. You had all those balconies taken over. That was a nice design.
It was laid out lovely. Yeah.
Right. So that gets to the end of the descriptions. The last two sections we have on this cruise are our pet peeves and things that we were surprised with. Everything we've mentioned in this week's and 2 weeks ago in part 1 of this, if you want to see the actual videos of this stuff, they'll be popping up. This is just an overview for people who are thinking of going and people who are interested in it. So pet peeves, what I have down here, Nancy, you can add some more, was the music too loud.
It was. I don't know why Carnival has to have their music so loud. I love the music, but it is really loud.
Great taste in music.
Great taste in music.
And it even got to a point down with a violinist to a point where real loud.
Yeah, yeah. I love their taste in music. I always said that. Like, I love the music on the horizon, but it was always so loud.
And usually we're complaining we can't hear stuff. Let alone too loud.
I know.
The other another thing with pet peeve was the roof. Okay. Yeah. I was very curious because after that night, at the night where they had the Halloween thing, everyone was hot. I guess at least half a dozen people had gone up and complained.
Yeah.
So they actually made a couple of announcements saying, we apologize. We cannot open the roof to let the cool air in because it can only be open when the ship is in port.
Right. Well,
that turned out to be a farce because when we left the last port, the roof was shut.
Yeah.
The roof was open.
Okay.
When we went to the 5 islands, the roof was open.
Yeah.
So at the last port is when they should have shut the roof to head back to New York. They didn't. It was still open. So we're halfway to New York, or a third of the way to New York, and we went down to go in the pool, and the roof was shut. So I went up to the girl and I said, I don't understand this. I thought you could only shut and open the roof when you're in port. She said, I don't know who told you that, but as long as they stop the ship,
right? As long as they stop it, right?
They can do the roof.
They can do it.
So, yeah. So yes, to believe that the first time around. So the roof, they need more training on that roof because that is such a great feature on the ship.
And that should have been open that Halloween night. There was no need for that to be hot.
The other thing is, is you couldn't hear the announcement of the room.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know why they don't have some kind of a switch you can put the volume up or down or turn it on.
Yeah, that would have been convenient.
By the time we get out to the hallways, we missed the announcement.
No, we did.
And some of them weren't. None of them were urgent, but some of them were important messages.
Right.
So it wasn't like just something they're just throwing out there. So that was a big complaint of ours. The festival night, that was what we had talked about earlier. They had this big festival up on the Lido deck and everything decorated. And they were supposed to have an hour of gelato eating contests and violin playing and juggling and different things. And they had the roof open.
Yeah.
So it rained. Yeah. And so they moved everything downstairs. But at the end of this, they serve food. Yeah. A whole bunch of treats.
It was really
festival
good.
Treats.
It was very good.
I guess street foods they call them.
Yeah, it was very
we got
good.
We got a table full of it because I don't think the people that went downstairs to get out of the rain came back up and we had stuck around.
I know, it kept serving all these goodies. I'm like, wow.
Right.
It was nice.
So, I mean, that's a simple fix. You shut the roof.
Yeah.
Right? You shut the roof the night of the
they
thing.
could have remedied that.
The other one, okay, the last one, you had brought attention to it earlier, the theater.
Yeah.
Their theater is horrible. Now, I'm guessing.
I mean, it's beautiful, but it's just not.
Well, I'm guessing this theater was rehabbed. That this wasn't the theater from the original ship because it was identical to the one on the horizon.
It was, yeah.
And the site, most of the seats, you could not see the full stage. They're doing a game show, you couldn't see the contestants on the left or the right.
It's true, yeah.
They had a railing in front of you. They had poles. It was,
and that's identical to the horizon.
Right. So that was terrible. The layout, like Nancy said, we ended up starting to just stand in the aisles so I could video. She could watch the show without being blocked. So those are our pet peeves. Are there any other pet peeves?
Well, you had to ask for the paper.
The menus.
Menus.
Yeah. They act like paper. Yeah, the 3 things on the ship that I thought were rare, that it must have been worth the wait and go, was the paper menus, the butter,
and
the bacon.
Yeah, right, and the bacon.
So the bacon was served every other day.
Every other day.
So to get around that, we would go down to one of the sit-down breakfasts, and that way we could order bacon, but they wouldn't give it the buffet.
Right.
The butter, they cut in these tiny little squares that basically will cover half a roll.
I know.
And they hide them.
They do hide them.
Every time you get in line, you say, "Where's the butter?" The guy will either go in the back room or to the other end of the buffet and bring you over some.
I know.
So that was pretty funny that they such a lack of butter in the paper menus, like Nancy had mentioned. I don't know why it's so hard to just copy a bunch of menus, but they would never have enough for all four of us.
Right.
It would be, I have two. Can you share them? I have one.
I know.
So that was kind of a pain in the neck too, trying to wait for that, because you'd be seated, you have to wait for the waiter, then he'd finally come over. Then you'd have to ask for the menu. He said, "Are you ready yet?" "No, we need the menu."
The service was slow too. That's another thing.
The service was extremely slow, which is, I think, typical.
I don't remember it being that slow last year on the Horizon.
You don't think so?
No, I think this was. I think we had to wait quite a while on this cruise ship.
Now this bacon was well cooked.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah,
I like it crispy. I don't like flaccid bacon. I like it crispy. They cooked it great.
I had heard it was just cost cut. They decided to do it every other day to cut the cost.
But if you're really craving bacon, you can always get a BLT and pick the bacon.
That's true too. There are ways to get the bacon. But the other thing was, Nancy saying the service. There was a huge. I don't know what it was, if there was a new crew or not, but there was a huge communication gap.
There was. There was.
We did not have any meal where they didn't bring something, didn't forget to bring something. I'm still waiting for my clam chowder and my tomato soup.
Your tomato soup.
And they either didn't bring it or they brought the wrong thing. And she got sick one night because she ordered a lasagna. Yeah,
you ordered the same thing you did, lasagna. And I thought that's what he said. I told him exactly what I wanted. And I thought he repeated it back to me. And then what I got was I guess it was eggplant.
Eggplant, yeah,
eggplant. And I do like eggplant. It doesn't usually agree with me, but I ate it, and I shouldn't have, because it didn't agree with me.
Right. Well, if you're not expecting it either, and it was greasy. But the thing was, I mean, their food overall was pretty good.
I could have had him take it back once I figured out it was eggplant and ask for the lasagna, but it tasted fine. So, and I liked it, but
there was some kind of a communication, because, and even like you got your tea and you'd ask for honey and it would take forever, or they would forget to bring it back.
Well, first they give you a cup, and then they come with the tea bag, and they put the tea bag in. Then it takes forever to get the hot water.
Right. So why can't you bring the whole thing?
Why can't you just?
And it's funny because even the same restaurants, sometimes they give you a small cup with the hot water. Other times they bring a pot, which would be 2 or 3 cups.
Right. They do it different every time. Yeah.
So those are pet peeves. And last thing on the list was surprises.
Yeah.
Okay. First one I have here is the towel animals every night.
Oh, I love those.
I don't think they did this with everyone. I think this depends on your cabin person.
I guess so.
Because our friends didn't get it every night. They took them away.
They took them away. Okay.
But we have some great pictures of all our animals.
He left all our towel animals. So we have a picture of us on the bed with all the towel animals.
There was also, this is a 13-day cruise. They also had 2 lobster nights, which shocked me.
That was awesome. I missed the first lobster night, so I wasn't feeling well, and I was disappointed. I go, well, that's all right. I don't get my lobster, but to my surprise,
well, the last cruise we went on had 2 formal nights, and the second one they didn't have lobster. It was something else, shrimp or something. This one had just variations. The first night was a lobster with a steak. The second one was lobster with shrimp, I think, right? Or was that the beef Wellington?
I think that was a beef Wellington.
Okay. And the beef Wellington was very good.
Yeah, it was very, very good.
So that surprised the 2 lobsters.
Yeah, I was excited because I got my lobster. That was really good.
The Lido deck surprised me. Usually I don't really care about the Lido decks. They're just decks.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Like we explained earlier. Yeah, the theming, everything was great.
Yeah.
The pool. The big pool was never crowded.
No, it was so nice.
And we've lucked out in the last couple of cruises. Just getting into the pool with no issues.
Yeah.
This was a huge surprise and thrilled us, is the captain's cocktail party.
Oh my gosh.
We thought it was just you go down there and you get a photo op with the captain.
Yeah, this was a real surprise.
But it was an open bar for an hour.
unbelievable. And I thought we were just going to go and get maybe a glass of champagne, like they do when they have the art auction.
Did he hand it to you once you went through the door?
Yeah. So
I thought the same
that's
thing.
what I expected, but I was really pleasantly surprised when you could order any drinks you want.
Well, it was limited. I mean, but there was enough. There was beer, wine, all sorts of mixed drinks.
Yeah, it was very nice.
And
they were good sized glasses. They weren't like small glasses. They were regular.
Right. They were timid at the beginning, asking for more, but they just kept handing them to us. We ended up drinking 4 there and walking out with 2.
Yeah.
So it was quite the party. So if you ever get offered that, don't think it's just
don't miss out.
Yeah, that's a great way to get a great we'll say buzz on before you go to dinner, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was very nice.
The other thing, which was a nice surprise, I don't know why it took them so long to do this, and the only cruise line I know that doesn't have something like this, a late night snack.
Yeah.
When we were on the horizon, most of the fights we saw that came close to happening were because of the lines at the pizza place.
That was the only place
open.
Yeah.
After all the shows got out and this and that.
That's ridiculous.
But that's not the way with this added thing now, and it's a decent selection. It's only about 10, 15 items, but it's a nice variety, chips and cookies for desserts and
I didn't
soup.
see chips.
Yeah, one night. They didn't have it every night.
Okay, I missed that.
They had a big bowl of chips.
Okay.
Pizza, deep dish pizza. So if you like that, opposed to the thinner one.
I never did get the deep dish pizza.
You tasted mine.
Oh, that's right.
And then meatball subs, and I think they had the makings for a taco, didn't they, or something like that? But it was a nice variety. Oh, the chips I'm thinking of are the chips with the salsa and stuff.
Oh, chip, those chips, because I didn't see.
Well, they had one night they had a bowl, but every night they had the other ones. Mm-hmm. So that's a nice addition. Very glad to see that. Our cabin, we explained it earlier, huge surprise.
Yeah,
pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, because we were on the first floor and it was just lovely. It was
plenty of private areas, and that's a big one because you hear people complain a lot about pool hogs and people on the pool that you. There are plenty of places if you want to. We went up to Serenity a couple times, and that was usually packed. Yeah. But plenty of little nooks and crannies, really cute spots that you could sit down and get the sun and veg or read or. So just go out and look for that. Walk around and find a place. And the last one I put for the surprise is because I'm a big steak person, was the quality of steak. When we were on the Horizon, I thought it was horrible.
Yeah, the steak on the Horizon was not good. No.
It was gristle, everything else.
You'd have to go to a specialty restaurant to get a good piece of steak. But this steak was really good.
And I had a lot of steak. And these are thin steaks, which are hard to do. And I always get a medium rare.
Yeah,
they cooked it well. I did not get one that was overcooked. I did not get one that
had they did it right. Gristle. They didn't cook it well. They cooked it medium like you asked.
Yeah.
But it was done right.
But we had it the C-Day brunch. We had steak
C-Day brunch was really good. Really enjoyed C-Day brunch.
We had the steak at dinner sometimes. So it was very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And the slides were nice. I think I really liked the water slides.
Yeah. You enjoyed those?
Yeah. I liked the water slides. I thought they were fun. You didn't have to climb up as many steps.
Yeah, because you exit from the second deck on the Lido deck. It goes out and then you just go up one flight.
Yeah, I like that because on the Horizon, you'd have to climb up too many. And I really didn't like doing that. I don't think I went on the
They're a good mid slide. In other words, they're good enough to keep me entertained. I like them a little scary, and they're not too deep for you to not like them.
So I really liked them. Yeah,
we did those about a dozen times during the cruise.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. I do. Yeah, because I didn't go on any of the slides on the Horizon, but the time before on the Norwegian, we had the tubes. That was different.
Right. So that's our summary.
As we get to the end of the show, Nance, we're now going to get the answers to our trivia question. I found these to be very interesting questions. So what is the first question?
Okay, the first one is, who has more outfits in their closet, Mickey or Minnie Mouse?
Who has more outfits in their closet, Mickey or Minnie Mouse? See, now I initially say Minnie because, of course, she's the woman there, and they have more outfits than guys do.
Right.
But since Mickey Mouse has been around so much longer and he appears more places, I'm guessing it's
he does
Mickey.
Appear more places. So
which one is it?
That's a good logic because it's with over 290 different outfits.
So Mickey has 290 outfits.
Yeah, Mickey is the winner. Minnie has roughly 200 outfits available to her.
She's like 2/3 of what he has. Okay.
Minnie, you need to get more clothes.
That's right. Which is a pair of more punk functions.
Yeah, you got to get more clothes, Minnie. Ask for some for Christmas. Okay, number 2. What is the largest island in the world? Any idea?
No, not really.
Yeah, it's Greenland.
Greenland. Okay, that's logical.
Yeah, it is. And number 3, what day of the week is it considered unlucky to sail out of port?
Now, I didn't know there was an unlucky day. I'm going through the logic that never sails during the week. I would say the middle of the week. What's the day?
They say Friday.
That's interesting because I swear we've sailed out on some Fridays. That's very interesting.
I don't know. Maybe we haven't, and we thought
so Friday is the unlucky.
Yeah, I don't
considered unlucky to sail out.
Well, I wouldn't want to sail out on Friday the 13th.
Okay. Well, thank you, Nancy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
During every show, if we receive any listener questions, which we've been receiving a lot of them, we like to answer one per show.
Yes.
That can be anything personal, travel related. Just email it to us. So the question today is, how many times have we been to Disney World?
Right. As you know, we're big Disney people.
We started cruising like 10 years ago and trying to do 1 or 2 cruises a year. But before that, even to the beginning of our marriage, we were doing a lot of Disney trips. So I did a handful with my family growing up, and you did one.
I did one when I was like 26, I believe.
And then we did a couple, 1 or 2 before the kids came along.
We did one. I remember it was with my parents, or 2, I think. Yeah, our parents came
2 before.
Okay. 2 before, yes.
And then when we got married, when we were kids, I should say, we went to Disney every other year.
Every other year, yeah. Starting when our son was 1.
Right. Yeah. So if you do and he's how old now? So he's
28.
28. So every other year would be about, I don't know, maybe every other year would be 14, but we haven't gone like the last. So I would say we went maybe 12 times with the kids.
Well, we went 2 years ago with them, so count that.
I did count.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Okay.
So
12 times? Okay.
About 12 times with the kids, a couple times without the kids.
We did go a couple times without them, yeah.
I did it like couple times before we were married, and you did once before we were married. Yeah. So someone wants to do the math there, you come out with probably about 16 to 20 times we've been to Disney World.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you count separate trips, but now with snowbirding, we'll be in the parks a lot more.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it for today's
Thank you
question.
For your question.
If you want to send a question to us, our email is j&ntravels@yahoo.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to J&N Travels Podcast.